Hey everyone, today I'm gonna make a different kind of video. It's about mental health and myself, as well as mental health in general. You don't have to watch it. I'd appreciate if you did. Might give you some insight into me or into mental health. I'm currently in a really deep depression. I suffer with a few things. It might be common knowledge that I have bipolar disorder. I've talked about it a little bit, but in case you didn't know, yeah. But that's not what we're really going to talk about today. I tend to manage bipolar quite well. Obviously, I would say that because I'm bipolar, but it doesn't really affect me in the same way that anxiety does. So anxiety is something I've had for the last 2.5 years. Specifically awful panic and panic attacks, and recently in the last few months an inability to sleep because I have something called somnophobia, where I'm absolutely terrified to go to sleep in case I don't wake up. The therapist that I did speak to did identify my main trigger point as death, so a lot of the stuff today surrounds that, as morbid as that is. I have an awful fear of death. But I'm incredibly depressed and sometimes I think about it, to be frank. So it's like a little paradox of awfulness in my head. I feel lonely all the time, but I know I'm never alone. I have so many people around me, but I'm always lonely, always. It's a very lonely thing, anxiety, because everyone's got a different kind. It's just such a broad term, and everyone's got a little bit of it probably, but in terms of it being a disorder, I have health anxiety and I have panic disorder. So health anxiety used to be called hypochondria. So I'm just, everything that moves in my body, whether it's a little weird feeling, blood traveling through, headache, everything I think is death. So I live in fear in my own body. I feel very unsafe in my own body. My panic attacks are extreme. They're not just like a couple of minutes of panic and then it goes. It tends to last quite a long time. They tend to be very serious very quickly. I feel like I'm in real danger. Anyone who's had a panic attack knows exactly what I'm talking about. Anxiety attacks and panic attacks are very different. I do want to reiterate that. Lots of people think they're the same, but they're not. There's a slight difference, but that slight difference makes it incredibly different. Panic disorder in particular is something where the panic comes out of nowhere. It's not triggered by in social spaces or airplanes or trains or a specific thing. I just get panic out of fucking nowhere from a general build-up of stress, because I'm always stressed. Sometimes it just comes to a head and it manifests in, shaking, fast heart rate, irregular heartbeat, absolutely the most intense fear ever. Something bad is literally happening now. This is it. This is death. I feel like I'm dying all the fucking time. I'm terrified of it. So being terrified of it brings the panic on. I don't sleep, and when I do sleep, I have nightmares. I wake up in floods of incredible fear. I don't really sleep. I end up passing out at some point. When I go to lay down at night, it's like, oh, I've got to do this again. Fuck, what does this mean? What if I don't wake up? If I don't wake up, how will they remember me? What would they say? Oh my God, who dies in their sleep? Just the thoughts circulate and circulate and circulate, and I can never get to sleep. Of course, I've tried therapy. Of course, I've tried to get therapy. I'm on a doctor's list for the last 2 years, as I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, how hard it is to get seen, treated, and find someone right for you to get help. I don't want to be on medication. I'm not against anyone who is on medication, but it's not the route I want to take. I don't take meds for anything. The depression, depression and anxiety, I wouldn't wish upon anybody. It's wanting to do so. I want to do so many fucking things all the time. You know, the beautiful thing about bipolar is that you're creative as fuck. You're eccentric. I love all the crazy stuff about me, you know, my ability to just really enjoy something and to have the most fun and to get things really deeply and to intricately understand other human beings and feel really deep compassion for human beings and animals and the planet, and love music with all my heart and soul. But the depression means I can't get any of it done, you know, and anxiety is the fear of it going wrong or not being good enough. So even though I have all these fucking desires and dreams and plans, at 3 o'clock in the morning sitting there going, tomorrow I'm gonna fucking do a 30-minute workout, I'm gonna make 20 videos, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go live, I'm gonna make a song, I'm gonna walk into town, I'm gonna get all these errands done, I'm gonna fucking dress up, I'm gonna go out. Like the next day you wake up and you're like, I could just stay in bed and do nothing because it's too hard. And the latter keeps winning at the moment. So this video is kind of like a twofold thing. It's one, just I guess some sort of therapy for me to just say all this out loud, and the other part is to explain to you guys why I'm not that active at the moment on my personal page, on the band page. I'm not talking to any of my friends right now. I'm not answering text messages. I'm not talking on the phone. I'm not seeing anybody. I just sit in my house and cry. That's what I'm doing right now. Crying and eating myself into being a whale. Life is so fucking hard. It's so fucking hard. It's also incredibly beautiful, and I love every part of it. I want to see it all. I want to do it all. I want to go to the ends of the earth, and I want to see sharks in the ocean. I want to see tigers in the rainforest. I want to do all the gigs I can in every country in the world. I want to meet cool people. But I also hate myself and just can't bear to face anything. It's and not just facing it, but what if I fail? Like, why is everyone else doing better than me? Why is everyone else better than me? You know, I think most artists suffer in some way with their mental health, because people are artists, in my opinion, for two reasons. Either they just want to be famous and rich, and hey, good for you, or they suffer deeply and that's their outlet. You know, that's a way to control all your trauma, is to brand it, market it, give it to you. What else am I supposed to do? Sit in a room thinking about all the things that are shit, you know? I won't go into personal details about my life. There is a certain amount of keeping stuff to yourself or to your small friend groups. But, you know, I've been through a fucking lot. And I fucking work really hard in the music industry. And sometimes it feels like, what's the point of it all? You know, I'm just some little fucking fish in a massive pond, and I fight all the time in my head with wanting to be successful. Not financially means nothing to me. I'm talking about bigger stages, bigger shows, bigger tours, supporting huge artists, being the huge artist. You know, I fight with wanting all that, and I want it so bad. And against it, I fight like, well, isn't it better to just be myself and make a difference to fucking anyone? Isn't just making a difference to one person enough? Like, because that's not what I do it for. I do it for me, and it's just a bonus that other people like it, right? And that I can help in any way. Songs mean so much to me, like other people's songs, and the idea that I might write something that means so much to someone else, that should be enough. Like, that's more than I could have ever dreamed. But I fight with those two things constantly, like just wanting to be up there, not for the fame, not for the people knowing who I am, not for my name in lights, but just those lights, they feel like you're something, you know. Being on stage is the only time I feel alive. I earned every moment of being on that stage, and they're my songs, that someone is standing in front of me and listening, and I can speak and I can be heard, and it's nothing matters in that moment. I'm confident. None of my insecurities matter. None of my anxiety matters. None of my depression matters. I'm God in that moment. So all I want to do in my whole life is be on those stages. Because of the bipolar as well, everything's always like massively awesome or massively shit. You know, I don't see greys at all. Everything is all or nothing. You know, I'm an all or nothing friend. I'm fiercely loyal. I care about people very deeply. And I get very hurt when they hurt me. And there's been a lot of it, you know, I've been fucked over a lot. I didn't want this to be a woe is me, especially with a pig on my shoulder. And you didn't have to watch. It's cool if you did. It's just, I just wanted to make, I don't know, we should make mental health normal. There's members of my family that don't think mental health is a thing. They think you should Google it and get better like that. They think prayer works, which it doesn't, because there's no such thing. They think you just pay for some medication, shove it down your throat, and you're fine. People don't get it. They don't fucking get how hard it is just to wake up and be alive. And just be in your own body and be in your own skin and have your brain working against you all the time. Have your body betraying you with panic attacks and your mind telling you that you're not good enough all the time. You fight with yourself, let alone anybody else. It's so hard, and not everyone can do it. Some people end it all, and you can't be mad at those people, because if you've ever been at the point where you could do something, you get it. And if you haven't been at that point, then you just don't get it. But be kind. You know, don't say it's not selfish. It's the least selfish thing I can think of. I do believe people should stick around, and I'm going to stick around. But I get why they do that. You know, I get it. Sometimes it's just too much. It's always too much. It's just how much you can bear. You know. Most of the time, I get bite by the skin of my teeth. Every day is like, fuck, right, I did that day. You don't know what someone's going through, so just have some compassion for your fellow humans, you know. Feel free to talk to me in the comments, you know. I don't do messages, as everybody knows, because I'd never get up at all and do anything, because I get so many. But I might do like a Q&A at one point of some mental health stuff if anyone wants to go into it. You know, I think we should normalise this. I think we should remove the stigma. There is stigma. And like I said, there's people in my own family that think this is bullshit, that think it's the devil, that think you need just meds and it's fine. It's like a pill. Or, you know, I was told I'm too smart to be crazy. So just normalise it. And I guess that's all I've got to say today. So thanks for listening if you did. Speak to you soon.